Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Devops with Kirtan. Today we'll discuss a very important topic, that is DevOps implementation in Salesforce. So nowadays, currently people are using Changeset and SFDX CLI to deploy their code from one environment to other environment and to lower environment to the production. And let's see what are the problems they are facing due to this traditional deployment process. One is code override. For example, developer one made some changes uh, in sandbox, say it's a roll up QA, and one more developer they made a changes and deploy the code into the roll up QA. So the previous code will not be available, it will overwrite. So when the developer want to move the code from roll of QA to UAT environment, then that code will not be available. In that case, again he has to do the modification and move the code into the lower environment to higher environment. So no source code control. As we saw, due to this code override, there is the code always be override. We cannot keep track what are the last changes made by the developer. So no version control is available and no proper rollback process. So once the deployment is completed and somehow we found that the code is not working properly, so in this case we need to roll back. So in this case we cannot roll back properly. Again, no Devops metrics. Metrics is not there as there is no implementation of CI/CD or agile process. So there will be no metrics. Will not come to know that. For example, for a feature, how many times deployment is happening in one environment, and all those process, Dora metrics or any other metrics will not able to get it. And as we are doing it manually, so there is no CI/CD process or agile process is not implemented, which which we'll discuss in the later, and no periodic backup. So periodic backup is nothing but if we want to keep the track, what the version is available in the production, in case there is some disaster or something went wrong, then how we can get it back, all those code and all those things. Somewhere we need to keep the code backup, so that is called periodic backup. No code sync up with the different environment. So the code which is available in one environment, for example develop environment, and the code might after the deployment one sprint is completed, the same code should be available in the each and every sandbox, that might not be available. So these are the problems we are facing due to the traditional process. So what is the solution? So how we can overtake all those things? Because nowadays everybody is looking for the agile process. So agile process so that they can get the changes everything instantly. So the solution is DevOps implementation in Salesforce. So how to implement the DevOps in the Salesforce? So there are these many steps I have mentioned it over here. So we need to follow all those steps. Then only it will easy to implement all those Salesforce. The process, first we need to define the process. What should be our branching strategy, deployment process from developer to productions, what are the stages should be there. For example, we have a sandbox for developer, then the code, once the code is developed, then where it should we go, we should create QA environment, QA sandbox or RQA sandbox or UAT sandbox or mock sandbox. All those things, the process need to be defined. And second thing is we need to select the tools, what are the leading tools are available. So basically two things we are looking for, one is version control and a deployment tool. So version control, either we can go for GitHub or we can go for a Bitbucket, and many other version controls also available. Azure also providing version control, or any other which are based on your business requirement or client need. We can go for that selection, version control, and a deployment tool. Yes, a deployment tool is needed. You can go for Salesforce provided ant deployment tool. In other word, I can say this is the Salesforce CLI integration. So we can use ant tool as well, ant tool for the deployment to make it CI/CD continuous integration and continuous delivery. We can go for a Jenkins, or we can go for GitHub also providing one CI/CD process that is called uh, GitHub Action. And if you are using Bitbucket and all, Bitbucket also providing their own CI/CD. We can go for CI/CD. We can go for Azure, and apart from that, many other tools are also available in the market. That is called Copado, GearSet, AutoRabbit, Flowsum, and Salesforce also coming up with a new tool for the dedicated to deployment, that is called Devops Center. That is yet to I mean, the pilot run is ongoing, probably first quarter of the 2022 might launch, and we are waiting for that one. And second, next step is process adaptation and process adaptation by the developer and release team. So what are the process we will define? We need to A developer need to adapt the process, because they are still continuing, they are using the legacy process, that change it and all those things. The new process what we are going to implement, developer and release team member need to be adapt all those things. And finally, they need to practice it uh, thoroughly, so that everything should work as per our need. And then go live. Then we need to go we need to test all those things in our production data and all those things. Then after that, we need to go for the support. Yes, here I have just noted down the steps. I mean, what are the developers and team lead activities initially. And if you'll go for the developer activities, in the first row you can see all those developer activities. Like, first we need to adapt, we need to select, as I said earlier, we need to select all those tools which we are looking for to implement the DevOps. As everybody knows, DevOps is a process. We need to use some tool to fulfill that achievement. So one is Git and Visual Source Code training. We need to provide to the developer, adapting the process, source code commit, how they will use the Git and how they will commit the code and all those things. And then create pull request. We need to teach them how to create a pull request and review approvers, helps on resolving the conflict if any. So this will be the major task for the developer. And for release team member or release team manager activities, will be the developer training. When a new resource will come, will join into your development team, then we need to provide the developer training. We can create some document where those document will help to the new resource go through this, and we can go for the short video and all those things, so that the new developer can adapt our process quickly. Branch creation and maintenance, all those things. And development deployment to the all sandbox and production sandbox as well. So this will be the task for the release team member or release manager. All sandbox should be synced up, DevOps Metrix implementation, and many more things. This will be all those tasks for the release team member or release manager. Thank you everyone for watching this video. So next video we'll discuss all about the branching strategy. What should be the branching strategy for a project? I will give two, three branching strategy, and we can select which one is the suitable for your project or client. Thank you everyone.